And what you want to do?
Play college, or I'll get some All-Americans, go into the league, and dogging fools.
It's spring 2002.
I should have about 15 rings by the time I'm done with my career.
This is Desean Jackson at 15 years old. And this is Desean 11 years later.
It is my challenge to any defensive coordinator or any defender. Just guard me man to man.
Desean Jackson!
Here he goes again! Desean Jackson!
Touchdown! Desean Jackson!
The outsized confidence, the drive, the talent, all the things that have made the 26-year-old wide receiver a star with the Philadelphia Eagles come from this man.
You know, you made a schedule for him, and he got to stick with it.
He pushed Desean, people say 110%. I'm gonna say 200%.
This is Desean's father, Bill, who pushed, planned,
Don't worry about it, just do it.
and practically willed his son's career into existence.
I consider me a reflection of him.
We might not always be around for him. We got to teach him. I'm with it, boy. You know I love you. What to do? Do your thing. Do your thing.
In 1980, Bill Jackson, a bus driver with an obsession for football, moved with his wife Gail from Pittsburgh to the Hollywood Hills. 6 years after their arrival in California, Desean William Jackson was born. By the time he was 8, Desean had become his father's football project. He starred on multiple Pop Warner teams at once. Desean's father never missed a game.
I had a little 300 ZX. It got like 300,000 miles on it. People see that red Z with Jet 33 on it. They say, here comes Desean. He was always ready to play.
Watch him sneak out there.
I used to hear my dad screaming, go Desean, or do Desean, do this, do that. I'm like, man, that's my dad.
They would wake up early. I mean, when I say early, like 6 o'clock in the morning, and they would work out.
This is the 40 time.
And this is the 40 runner.
My dad, he wanted to prove to everybody that he could have a son that could go to the NFL.
He embraced my dad's push behind him. You know, sometimes it might have got to the point where, you know, it was too much, but Desean had no problem telling my dad to back off.
Byron Jackson, Desean's older brother by 18 years, was their father's first project. He played wide receiver at San Jose State in the early 90s, but never made it in the NFL. Byron helped their father mentor Desean and filmed his brother's every move.
How old do you think you'll be before you go beat me in running?
Tomorrow?
Yeah, right. You'll never be. I'll probably be 55 years old before you.
Yeah, right. Tomorrow, we're gonna race.
It's like every time I looked up, this camera was in my face, and I'm like, Byron, like, leave me alone. Every workout, every game I had, we can go back and critique it. I was groomed at an early age to be a professional, so when I got to high school, I was already ahead of what everybody else was doing.
Even before he came here, we knew this kid was going to be very special in our program. And a lot of it had to do with his dad. His dad really helped him and pushed him.
You know your boy Djax? So.
By 2004, Desean's senior year of high school in Long Beach, he was named Southern California Player of the Year.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
That season, he led his team to the section championship game, where he made an emergency start at cornerback. With his father looking on, Desean intercepted 2 passes, returning 1 for a touchdown. In the weeks that followed, top college coaches made the trip to visit Desean and his father.
If there's anything that's bothering you, or is there anything you want to tell us, so we can get this thing done, and you can come there and see. Because I know you're going to come there and see.
You showed us who you are, and we saw the support that you have that makes up what has helped you immensely. We know this is going to work.
When you talk about a difference maker, he can make a difference for us right now.
In February 2005, Desean announced his decision. He would play at Cal Berkeley, 6 hours north of his home in Los Angeles.
The reason why I honestly chose to go to Cal, SC is literally 15 minutes from, my back step. I thought, if anything, it would be a distraction.
Looking deep, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Cal, Desean Jackson.
Desean thrived in his first 2 seasons at Cal, leading the team in receiving yards and touchdowns, and was named an All-American at punt returner. In 2007, the summer after his sophomore season, Jackson returned home.
Desean came back from college, and we had his whole off-season plan.
I'm really thinking about, going to the NFL, entering the NFL. It's my junior year. I'm really having to prepare now at a whole nother level.
Chest up, come on.
All right, Desean, get over.
No, don't come here and start that man.
Hey, boy.
Don't throw it like that.
Throwing that at me, boy.
I think Desean was kind of 2 different people.
You gotta go through.
He was torn because he was trying to balance the team values that we were building inside, and then, some of the individual goals that some of the people surrounding him had for him.
Before y'all put that schedule together, y'all didn't ask me nothing. You just asked me what I got.
Don't worry about it. Just do it.
Right. So I have something to do too then.
You don't have nothing to do in the daytime. What, be with some
The tension between his father's plans and the team came to a head when Desean returned for his junior season at Cal. Considered a Heisman candidate, he was ready to showcase his talent. But in his first 4 games, Desean was held without a touchdown catch. His father lashed out.
If Teffer don't get him 100 today, I'm talking to Teffer after this game. Teffer don't know how to use Desean. He plays not to lose. I'm sick of this coach. I hate that motherfucker. Wait till he gets to the league. They're gonna put the ball in his hands. Some way or another.
Cal finished the season 7-6. A few weeks later, Desean carried out his father's plan. He was going pro. April 26, 2008, the first day of the NFL draft. Desean had been projected by some as a first-round selection. But as he watched the draft from a friend's home in California, the first round came and went. 4 hours passed. 6 other wide receivers had been selected.
With pick number 49, Philadelphia has selected Desean Jackson.
Andy Reid called me on draft day. When he drafted me, he's like, "We're gonna draft you, but I don't want to deal with your dad." Like, that's the first 5 words that came out of his mouth.
He said, "I don't want your family to be a problem. I don't want to deal with your dad."
It hurt me, honestly. It really did.
The teams that didn't take him, they will pay. They will pay because when he gets to the league, he gonna make them pay.
My dad, he's like, "Okay, well, my son is the Eagle, and Desean, as long as you go to work and do what you have to do, Coach Reid shouldn't have no problem with me."
September 15, 2008. The Eagles are facing the Cowboys. It's Desean's second NFL game and his debut on Monday Night Football.
McNabb loading up deep for Desean Jackson. He hauled it in. Oh, wow. Did he get over the goal line? Did he get over the goal line? Hang on a second. We got to make sure he broke the plane on that, guys. That is close.
In my mind, I'm like, this is about to be my first NFL touchdown. So that's the NFL. We can dance, right? We can do a little end zone celebration, right?
The play was ruled a fumble. The touchdown disallowed.
It's a great dance, but it's also one of the all-time bonehead plays.
My dad gave me a hard time about that one.
Desean bounced back, breaking the Eagles' rookie receiving record and helping the team secure a playoff berth.
Do your thing. Do your thing, boy. I can't
But late in the season, Desean noticed a change in his father.
He was actually at my house, and like, he was sleeping all day, like he wouldn't eat.
I looked at him, and he almost looked like a skeleton. It almost seemed as if it happened overnight, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what's wrong? He goes, I don't know.
At the family's insistence, Desean's father went to see a doctor. A few weeks later, in January of 2009, he was diagnosed with advanced pancreatic cancer. Doctors estimated he had 6 months to a year to live.
You love me back.
With the man who was the force behind his career bedridden in a hospital in Los Angeles, Desean faced the Giants in the divisional playoffs.
Everything kind of just happened in a snap of a finger. All I could think of was my dad in that hospital. As bad as he was feeling, his energy was up just because, I was playing in the playoffs. He was able to still see his son, fulfill a dream.
I feel really great that he's in the playoffs, and hopefully they'll win today, and we'll move on down the line. Yeah, you see I'm laying here in the hospital sick, but I'll be all right. I got my number 10 jerseys here, and my Eagle hat on. 4 for 81.
He got 81 yards.
How do you enjoy this whole season?
I loved it. My boy was the leading receiver with the Eagles. Y'all did it. All right, man, I love you. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right. Okay, dude. Love you.
The following week in the NFC Championship game, one game from the Super Bowl, the Eagles lost. Desean traveled to Los Angeles to be with his father.
He had no idea how bad my dad had dwindled, and when he saw my dad, it was really tough on him.
Right now, it'll probably be about another 2 months. I can survive the chemo.
There was a period of time when Bill never got out of the bed and he just pulled the sheets over his head. And when Desean would come, he would chirp up and act like nothing was wrong. He wouldn't do that unless he showed up.
On May 14th, 2009, Bill Jackson died. He was 64 years old. 2 weeks later, Desean and his family spread his father's ashes in the Pacific Ocean.
Everything that he was, I lost it. The backbone, the guidance, protection, just the strength. I mean, everything, like it was just gone. And, it took me time to kind of find, really it's never going to be a replacement, never. Focusing on football was actually my way of getting away from thinking about it. That was my zone to feel free.
4 months after losing his father, Desean returned to the field. In the first 3 weeks, he scored 3 touchdowns longer than 60 yards, a first in NFL history. He earned Pro Bowl selections in the next 2 seasons. And on December 19th, 2010, with his mother in the stands and his Eagles tied with the Giants and only 14 seconds left on the clock, Desean authored his signature moment.
Jackson takes it at the 35, picks it up, looks for running room. He's at the 40, he's at the 45, midfield, he's at the 40, he's got it down! Fans can't believe it, and the Eagles have just pulled off the most remarkable win I have ever seen.
Man above. I'm like, man, I'm on wings. I'm like, he's just guided me into the end zone. I was laying on the ground, and I was just looking up in the sky. And I could just think about all them hard work, and everything's done paid off.
I gotta say, man, it's for my pops, man. Rest in peace, pops, man. I miss you, man. It's all for you, baby.
I have friends that still talk to me to this day, like, man, your dad was crazy, man. He wasn't playing, he pushed you, and you made it, huh? Yeah, man, I made it. I just want us to keep proving Pops is right.